Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, and as always, I'm so grateful that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. And if you guys want to support me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon site. The link is in the description below. And you can give me $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever you guys prefer. In this video, I want to speak to you guys about how INFJs are popular loners. We have a lot of people around us, we know a lot of people, but we are usually more comfortable and more interested in spending time on our own, and we all usually end up spending a lot of time on our own. And of course, this is another one of those conundrums that makes us us, makes an INFJ an INFJ. We have a multitude of contradictions that make up who we are, and that's why it's so confusing, not only for the people around us, but for ourselves. Can you imagine how confusing it is for me? When I go outside into the real world, I'll go to an event and I know almost everyone there and they know me. Or random people will come up to me like, oh, boom, hey, how are you? And I'm like, I don't know who you are. But they know me because of the fact that I am one of those popular loners. People know me and I know a lot of people. But if you find me at any point in my life, hanging out by myself, mostly I am in my room by myself, right? I mean, if you're like talking to me and you'll ask me where I am, I'm like in my room, on my desk, or on my couch doing my own thing. Even though I have a lot of people in my life. I mean, I know hundreds of people. At least in Chiang Mai, I know hundreds and hundreds of people. Even in Toronto, when I was living there, at work, I would know everyone at work. At my corporate places that I worked in, all my jobs, I knew every single person's name and they knew mine and they knew who I was, and I'd walk past them and everyone would say hello, hi, and stop me to have a conversation with me. And I am actually an introvert, so it doesn't make any sense when you look at me from the outside in, and I'd complain to people like, oh my god, there's way too many people that know me. And they're like, well, yeah, that's fine, you're an extrovert, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm an introvert and I like to spend time by myself. And so I'm surprised that so many people know me, but it just ends up that way because I've done videos on this in the past, but because we are so friendly, I guess, in certain ways, but also we're so interested in humanity in general, right? So I think we kind of do this to ourselves, and I know I do this to myself, is because I'm just so interested in people in general. So for example, when I join up a new company, and this happened to me a lot in the past, as I said, when I was in Toronto, I'd join a new company, I'd start work at a new company, and then, people would obviously come up to me and say, hello, are you new, etc., etc., and I'd talk to them for a little bit. But always I would move the conversation back to them because I wanted to know more about them. So what do you do? What kind of things are you interested in? Things like that. And so people like people who are interested in them, and we are interested in humanity and humans in general. We want to learn about them. We want to talk to them and figure out what makes them tick, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, all of those things, right? And so I'd ask a lot of questions. And before I knew it, a week or two would pass by, and before I knew it, I had all these people that I knew and that knew me. And I walked through, in the morning I'd come in, I walked through the office, and I'd get hi everywhere. And I'm like, how did this happen? I just joined the company, right? So I think we kind of are surprised by it, actually. For me, I'm always surprised by the fact that people know me and want to talk to me. It's not even funny because I literally have no idea how a lot of people know me or how they remember me or the fact that they actually still want to speak to me and want to hang out with me. It's one of the biggest surprises to me in general when people like me, but also the fact that, people want to actually talk to me. When I go to events in Chiang Mai especially, I'm always surprised by the fact that people know me and want to talk to me. And I'm always thinking to myself, why is this the case? Why can't I just get used to the fact that we are popular loners? We are popular. Even though we are absolutely interested and fascinated by spending time by ourselves, we still know a lot of people and end up knowing a lot of people. Not intimately, of course, and they don't know us intimately either. They probably know us very superficially, which is totally fine. That's life for an INFJ. But we know them, and not intimately, or there are a few friends, of course, that I know very, very well, and they're my close friends, and they know me pretty much as well, as much as possible. But it's always a surprise to me, as I said, when I walk through the world and people know me and they actually want to talk to me. Now, of course, I always wonder if this has to do with self-worth in some way. I'm like, am I the kind of person who believes that I am not worthy of friendship or love or joy or any kind of love in general, right? But I really don't think that's the case. I really believe that we have, as INFJs, we believe that we are going to spend our life, eternal life, in solitude. We have this belief in ourselves that we are solitary people, that we're going to spend our lives in solitude, that we're always going to be by ourselves, that people don't really know us, so we're not even going to spend time with people. And we just have this kind of idea ingrained into our head, into our skull, that we are loners and no one knows us, we don't know anyone, we're just going to spend our life, our eternal life, by ourselves, right? And so when it does happen that we go out into the world and people are like, oh, hey, how are you? Boom, it's so nice to see you. Haven't seen. And we're like, what is going on here? And we get confused by it, confused by the fact that even though we're loners and we're introverts and we don't really like to hang out with people, people still want to hang out with us and still want to talk to us and know about us and ask us questions and things like that. Because it is not the case for us for so long. When we're younger and socially anxious, it takes us a long time to even get to know someone or talk in front of someone or have a conversation with people. But as we get older, we become more comfortable with it. We get to talk to people more and we ask them more questions. We understand how to converse with people, how to be around people. And so we start getting a lot of people into our lives. But we still have this idea of ourselves when we were younger that we're loners and no one likes us. We're never gonna have friends. We're never gonna have people around us. We're always gonna be alone forever. And so that kind of disparity, between the two forms of ourselves in our heads and in reality is always there. Always the difference is there in our head. We think we're loners, but we go out in the world and people actually want to talk to us. For me, it's always a very big surprise when people ask me questions about my life and what I'm doing, because I'm so used to not talking about myself or talking about other things or asking other people questions and having them speak about themselves rather than me speaking about myself. It's so common to me, and I'm so used to it. I mean, people do ask me questions and they're actually interested in knowing the answer. I always feel like I'm out of place somehow. I feel displaced and I feel uncomfortable and I feel like, what dimension am I living in? Where am I right now? What's going on in this world? It feels so weird to me in general because I just can't wrap my head around it. What is going on here? And so I think it's just the fact, I guess, maybe of growing up and just building your connections with people or building your connection with yourself and learning about yourself so that you're able to give that love to other people as well. I think you need to love yourself in order for other people to love you. And I noticed that for myself as well. The older I get, the more I love myself, the more other people end up loving me as well without me actually even doing anything. And that's the weird thing for me. I feel like there's this idea in my head that I have to do something in order for people to love me. I have to do nice things for them. I have to take care of them. I have to tell them I love them or tell them nice things or things like that. I have to do something. There's conditions attached to love. But even when I end up doing nothing for people, people still love me. And I think it has to do with the fact that I love myself now. And self-love, as I said, is a big one for INFJs in general. The more you love yourself, the more you'll notice other people will love you, but also the universe will love you. And the more your life gets easier and your social anxiety reduces and you're able to live in this world in the way that you want to live in it, you're able to control the circumstances of your life a little bit more. You don't let life, move you around in the way that it wants to. You actually tell life, this is what I want for my life. This is how I want to live. This is where I want to live. This is what I want to do with my time. And then, you kind of build that into your life system. And so I really always tell you guys, yes, you are loners, but people love you. And I know it doesn't make any sense to you right now, perhaps. You're not in that phase of life yet that you understand it. I still have a hard time understanding when people love me and tell me that they love me and want to hang out with me. I'm like, really? You want to hang out with me? Me? Like this person here? And it's always a complete mystery to me. I'm completely mystified by that. I'm like, what? Why? But I really want to say that they're not lying to you. And a lot of times I'll be like, no, they must be lying to me. And I'm like, are you lying to me? And they're like, no, I really love you and I really want to hang out with you. And I'm like, really? And so they're not lying to you. Stop telling yourself that. You are a lovable person in general. Everyone knows that and everyone wants to be around you. So even if you're a popular loner, realize that it's okay for you to spend time on your own. And I do. I spend a lot of time on my own. But when you go out in the real world, realize that you are popular, that people do like you, that people do want to be around you, that people do appreciate your company and your questions and the way you are. So you don't need to hide yourself too much or pretend to be someone else. You will find the people that will love you just for who you are. And I have found that. So I know that you can as well, especially because we're very odd. And if I can find friends that love me for who I am, then you guys can absolutely find that. I hope this makes sense. I hope I was able to explain myself to you. It's such an important topic to speak about, self-love and just accepting people's love for you. It's so important. I know it's hard, but it's important for us to do that. If you guys want to support me further because you like this video or any other videos I've done, please do visit my Patreon site. The link is in the description below. And I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.